Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you, wherever you are in the world. I am Tigress Osborne. I'm the chair of the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance. And today you have joined us for a special episode of our Ahead of the Curve fashion series featuring our Director of Fashion Industry Relations, Marcy Cruz. I'm going to turn it over to Marcy in just a minute, and she will introduce you to our special guest today, Marina from Peridot Robes. But before we do that, just a couple of NAAFA announcements. For those of you who are new to NAAFA, we were founded in 1969, and since then we have been working to make the world a better place through education, advocacy, and support, specifically to make the world a better place for fat people. As you can tell from our name and our mission, we embrace the word fat here and we encourage your use. We believe that that helps destigmatize the word. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of fat fashion things today. We are joined today by our friends from Pro Bono ASL. Pro Bono ASL. Our interpreters today are Lex and Susan. And please check out Pro Bono ASL, check out their website, follow them on social media, support their very important work in addition to the work they do with us. They work with all kinds of really incredible projects, helping make them more accessible. We also encourage you to check out NAAFA online in your favorite social media sites, your favorite social media apps, or at our website. We are NAAFA official on social media, and we are NAAFA.org, NAAFA.org. You can see at our website information about our programming, our Community Voices blog, opportunities to support NAAFA, and opportunities to get involved. So please do check that out. And we also encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see this show later and episodes of our webinar series, including the Ahead of the Curve episodes about fat fashion. And on YouTube, we are also NAAFA official. I am coming to you today from the greater Phoenix area, specifically the land of the O'odham people, and we're going to ask that you, those of you who are with us live today, share with each other in the chat where you are coming from and whose land you are on. If you don't know how to do that, there are many resources available to you online to find out whose land you're on, and we encourage that in order to honor the indigenous folks of the places that we are. With no further ado, would like to introduce you to Marcy Cruz. Once again, Marcy is the Director of Fashion Industry Relations for NAAFA, and she's been on our board since 2021. And Marcy is going to take it from here. Thanks, everyone, for being here. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Go ahead, Marcy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Tigress. Hi, everyone. I'm happy that you can join us. I'm super excited for the guests that I have tonight. Well, for me, it's tonight. For you, might be afternoon. I'm on the East Coast. So anyway, with further ado, I want to introduce Marina Hayes, who is just all around badass, boss babe. I mean, I don't even know. She's like the most incredible human being I've ever met. She lives in Los Angeles, where she's created Peridot Robes, an exclusive line of luxury robes and loungewear in sizes 14 to 40. So she's passionate about cannabis, culinary delights, shameless relaxation, and pursuing deep joy and comfort while living with chronic pain. You can follow her and visit her website to see the beautiful robes and loungewear that she already has available at www.peridotrobes, PeridotRobes.com. And I'm sure that's Tigress or Darlene will put it in the chat. Thank you, Darlene. On Instagram, it's at Peridot_Robes. And at Facebook, it's Peridot Robes. So in terms of land acknowledgement, I reside in Queens, New York, and I live on Muncie, Lenape tribe land. And I know I probably mispronounced that wrong, and I'm so sorry. Marina, where do you reside?
I live in Los Angeles in the Mid-City area, and we are unceded Tongva land.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's kick it off. Let's get the chat going. My first question to you is what inspired you to create this robes and loungewear brand for plus size folks?
Well, I'm not a fashion person, but I am a comfort person. I was inspired by being very frustrated, to be honest. I am chronically ill and have gotten chronically iller in the last many years. And the more time I was spending at home on the couch, just kind of dealing with the pain that I was in, the more I realized I was fighting with every single piece of clothing I owned. You know, nothing quite fit me right. None of the fabrics were comfortable. I was always like, a tie was loose or it was riding up, or, you know, I would sit down and my hips would spread and there wasn't room for that in the fit. And I felt like I deserved better. So no one else was making it for me to my satisfaction. I did a lot of research, and without really any knowledge of the fashion industry, I hired the people that I had faith in and who I wanted to work with. And as my grandpa used to always say, let the plumber fix the sink. So hire someone who you have complete trust in and then let them do their job. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like the last year has been almost like a paid internship for myself. Like I've been paying other people to intern me. And so I've learned a tremendous amount, but it's definitely been from, you know, I started off as a consumer more than a brand. And I think that's guided me in ways that a lot of people who are fashion people and very business minded in the fashion world have not been guided in the same way.
Yes. And actually to add on to that, you know, recently, I think it was this week, actually, Diane von Furstenberg was quoted saying that, you know, you're nodding your head. You know what I'm talking about. She was talking about size inclusivity, and she said that while she does value it, the honest truth is it takes, you know, it's more fabric to create for larger sizes. It costs more money. So like, what do you think about that, being that you now own your own business and you offer up to a size 40?
It's bullshit, Marcy.
Yes. I agree. You know, yes.
As a luxury line using premium fabrics, fabric is one of the least expensive things in what I do. First of all, I do use remnants fabric, so I am getting my premium fabrics at a cheaper price. And I don't think that Diane von Furstenberg has that same ability. However, I still believe it's not that much. It's really not that much. It's not that much more. And when you're talking about the larger sizes, we're really talking about a couple of inches. You know, we are. And it's shocking to me that people are still shoveling this shit and some people are still buying it, because even plus size people I see making excuses for these brands who haven't even made the excuses for themselves. They're perpetuating their own oppression by accepting this as the truth, and it's not the truth.
Yes. Thank you so much. You know, because I was talking to a coworker about this, and she said same thing you just said. And she also said, you know, it's a long-term investment too. You know, it's not something that's just, oh, I'm just going to do it now and that's it. It's something that you have to think of as a long-term investment. So, yes, thank you.
Every single person who buys an article of clothing at some point before that piece came into their possession, someone invested in them because they cared about having them as a customer. And really what it comes down to is that they don't care to have us as a customer. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an inside scoop of something that formed my opinions on being plus size early on. So I was a plus size teenager, I guess you could say. I wore like a size 16, 18 in high school. None of the juniors' clothes fit me really. And a friend of mine her father was friends with Tommy Hilfiger. And he would come over to their house on the weekends sometimes. And she was a big girl. She was about my size, maybe even a little bit larger than me. And she asked him one time, why aren't you making larger sizes? I mean, there's so many larger people who would love to wear your stuff. And he said, sweetheart, now let me explain something to you, okay? As a designer, you work so hard on having your stuff look good. You don't want fat people running around with your name on them. He said that to her in high school. a high school girl. And for me, I was just, I mean, that formed, I was like, they really hate us. You know, I love people like me, and I wasn't even, you know, that big yet, you know? But I knew I was going to be. My parents are large people. I come from large people. I've always known that this is what my body was going to look like. And, you know, I never saw anything wrong with it. So I guess in that way, I've never had to get over the shame the way that a lot of fat people have. I kind of dove right into the entitlement of like, why don't I have this? Give me it, you know, and being angry that I didn't have it, you know, and I think that's what a lot of journey is too, you know, you suddenly are like, okay, I accept myself, but then you see how much the world is not made for you. And it's not you that's not made for the world. You know, it's a world that's stacked against us in medical care, in employment, in social settings, every single that sit down in, every single piece of furniture we buy. We have jobs, money like anybody else, and we are being pushed out so much, except people who now are suddenly seeing us as dollar signs.
Exactly. I mean, and even now you say furniture, because I'm shopping for a sofa and the weight capacity is ridiculous, you know, but my money is just as good as someone else's. So yeah, no, definitely.
A list of good sofas for larger people.
On that note, we're going to go ahead and talk about accessibility, which we've already kind of gone into that topic. Because, you know, I always say health and fashion should not be in the same sentence, right? But of course, we can't ignore that, you know, because when we mention health, what is the first thing that the masses say? And when I say the masses, I mean people who look at fat people as unhealthy, right? So of course, that leads to them thinking, oh, well, because you're unhealthy, you don't deserve fashion. You're not, you know, our value is dependent on, you know, our health, which should not be the case. It should not be, because clothing is a basic need. I mean, if I need to wear suits for a job interview, you want me to work, right? You know, it's like the stereotype, oh, we're lazy, we're sloppy, you know, it's ridiculous. Right. So
bigots don't make a lot of sense.
Right.
You break it down just about every single kind of bigotry, and the basis of it very flimsy. Talk about sloppy, you know? It's just any kind of scrutiny on this whatsoever, and it falls apart, you know? And to me, I do think that I think that's a big thing. And I saw a thread on Facebook a couple of days ago, a friend of mine who was like, you know, just said something very simple that was pro-fat. And she's not in the same kind of like, I have like almost an exclusively fat bubble around me. You know, my friends are all fat activists. They are fat business owners. They are fat mothers. They are fat fathers. You know, they are, you know, community members and valuable community members, even, you know, in different abilities. And so sometimes I see the rest of the world again, like I get a little glimpse of what's going on outside my bubble. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you people are still thinking this way? What's wrong with you?
Right. You have to remind yourself it's 2022, you know, totally.
We have problems in this world, and you're still on this shit about us being the decline of society. It's bananas to me. It's hard not to laugh, but also I feel horrible for people who are surrounded by people like that, and their families, their coworkers, you know, in the dating scene for sure, walking into a medical office, you know, and I've insulated myself really well because I protect myself. I'm a trauma victim from the time I was a little kid. So my whole I don't get to live my best life if I don't feel safe. So I surround myself with very safe people. But that's also kind of, to some degree, pulling the wool over my eyes, because I don't get trolled by my loved ones for my weight. You know, that's a privilege of mine.
Yes. I mean, me personally, I don't even speak to about, I want to say 75% of my family because of my weight, you know. Which is unfortunate for them. They're missing out, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? But So what I was going to ask, and I think you kind of answered it, but you can add on if you want, was like, of course you told me what you thought about that. And how do you use your own brand to fight against this way of thinking?
Most importantly, I think for everyone to empower themselves in their life, it's important for them to feel safe and comfortable and worthy. Okay. It takes that base of confidence to be able to move forward, advocate for yourself better in your life, and also project, a sense of when you're an empowered person, people are scared of you. The reason
Yes.
why I've never had someone really, besides like my aunt and like a couple people here and there, I don't get fat phobic stuff to my face because I look like I'm about to beat the shit out of somebody. I'm an empowered person. I'm gorgeous. I'm well dressed. I'm not able-bodied at all. I'm constantly leaning on things and sitting down and everything. But at the same time, I just don't think I'm messed with because I have a lot of light in me that's just like, you don't want this. You don't want this. But I think that's where Peridot came in was, I was like, in my own home turf, why am I battling with my own clothing? What sense does that make? And I also feel, because like I said earlier, I'm not a fashion person. If I was going to invest in any one article of clothing to fit me perfectly and be high quality and last me a really long time, it would be a bathrobe and a bra, but also a bathrobe. But and I wanted something to get for myself. I mean, I'm not going to wear an evening gown once a week. I'm not going to wear, I don't wear jeans anymore. I had surgery years ago and I don't wear jeans. Are not comfortable for me. So I wasn't looking for that. I wanted a nice bathrobe because I felt like that would be something I would be using almost every day. And having that be the highest quality I could afford is something I felt was worth it for my needs. And I feel like a lot of people have agreed with me, where we just celebrated 1 year our first launch, and it's so much bigger than I ever thought it would be. I really I'm a stoner. I am a lazy person, and I'm not ashamed to say that. Not all disabled people are lazy, but this disabled person in particular is lazy. I'm tired all the time, and and I don't like doing stuff. Even when I was able-bodied, I was still lazy, I promise. And so for me, it was like, I just wanted to relax better. The world is really traumatic. It's really hard being an adult day to day in a city, in a world. The news is terrifying. The people are weird. Job is stressful. Money is never enough, and all that. I wanted to be comfortable in my own home, in my own zone every single night.
And my niece, when she put on my robe, she said, "This robe gives me peace. I'm comfortable." And I never saw it again. So if I could give her the gift of peace through you, hey, absolutely, it's worth it.
I get crying videos all the time. I get love letters all the time. I get overwhelmed by them because I connect so emotionally to what these people are saying, because I've been there too. And sometimes I don't even respond properly because it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm stoned off my ass. And I'm just like, I can't text to this person, to be honest. But I just never realized just how revolutionary what I was doing was. I was literally just trying to make robes for my friends and I, and I started off and I launched at the end of May in 2021. I thought I would sell enough robes, hopefully by September, to be able to do another line for the holidays. And that was my goal. It was a very small goal. I didn't have a lot of them. I had, 350 robes, which was a huge investment for me to be able to do that. But really on a large scale, there's so many fat people in the world. It wasn't that many. And we sold out in a day and a half.
Wow. That's incredible.
And all of this stuff that I had been told by people that, the extended sizes don't buy stuff. I mean, they have more trauma around fashion than smaller sizes. And so it's hard pressed that if they spend this money, they're going to get something that they love because they've never had anything that they've loved. They've never had something that was amazing quality, the vast majority of people. And so you have to build a relationship with them. And I care enough to build a relationship with them because I've been there too. I get it. You know, I bought a caftan from Jen Wilder's line, You're Too Much. Was I want to say it was like $400, and that's an absolute gobsmacking amount of money to me at the time, especially, and still, you know, it's a huge amount of money. And I was like, you know, how could this possibly be worth it? But she told me, you know, it's made ethically, made locally, you know, and all that. And I put that thing on, and it fit me better than anything I'd ever worn before in my life. And I could move in it, and I looked gorgeous in it, and I felt beautiful in it. And I was like, okay, I'll pay that to feel this way. And then I hired Jen Wilder to be my production manager for Peridot. Because like, you can do this for me, do this for other people. And, you know, Jen Wilder is the co-owner of the Plus Bus here in Los Angeles. And she has developed plus size lines for a lot of other people. And she is a genius when it comes to the fit of a plus size body.
Yeah, she's wonderful. I love her so much. Her and Marcy Guevara, yeah, they're working magic at the Plus Bus. I mean,
they really are. You know, and it's something I wanted to say that I know we're going to get into this maybe a little bit later, but I want to kind of touch on it now, is that extended size is not buying things. Now, I have a lot of friends who are in plus size retail, and they told me this. They were like, most of your sales are going to be size 1s and 2s, maybe a couple 3s, but the 4, 5, 6s, and 7s, they're not there, and they're not going to buy your stuff. You can make something for them, but you're going to have it left over, and it's not going to sell. And I understand now where they were coming from, because they're in mostly plus size resale. And when someone who's a larger size like that finds something that they love, they don't give it up. They don't trade it into the plus bus, you know, they don't bring it in. And so what is there in the larger sizes is mostly crap that nobody wants to wear, because there's not a lot of stuff in that size that people want to wear to begin with. You know, stuff that is in larger sizes is custom made, or, you know, it was a vintage find, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this fits me. Or, you know, it was passed on to you from someone else or whatever. But you know, there's not, I've shopped plus size resale for years to trying to get my own wardrobe together. There's just not a lot of stuff to get excited about in those sizes. You know, you look at what 16 and 18s have, they have gorgeous options. And I think that's what I've done as Peridot, is given larger sizes the same exact gorgeous options. It doesn't cost more. It doesn't fit worse. It's not a worse quality of fabric. It's exactly the same as what everybody else is getting. And I care more, to be honest, more for the pluser sizes than for the smaller sizes, because they're more marginalized. You know, they get the short end of every step in the fashion industry, you know. And but I will say I'm grateful for my size 1s and 2s, because they pay for the larger sizes, basically, in a lot of ways. You know, it's more labor to do that stuff. It doesn't cost me any differently, though. I mean, I pay per piece, so, you know, the same cost.
Wow, I'm just listening to you. I'm like, so you're totally just like breaking it down, giving us all the information. You know, this is what people need to hear. They need to hear about a successful business, not always, you know, oh, the sizes don't sell. The sizes do sell. And you know what? You're absolutely right, because I usually do sales with Blogger House Curvy Closet. And they were my guests for Latinx Heritage Month. And my sales always sell out. And I always carry 26 and up. You know, but for me, my life is different. You know, I get gifted a lot of clothing that I wear once, and then I don't wear it again. So I do have stuff that's good quality, but normally it's true. When you go into a thrift store or resale, there isn't much of an assortment in the bigger sizes, because when you find something you love, you're holding on to it. I mean,
Yeah.
I have things that are like 10 years old at this point. I still have a dress from Beth Ditto's collection with Evans in
I
2010, and I refuse to give that dress up. It's in a garment bag. I might as well put a track light on it. Like, it fits amazing. Like, I will never give it up. So I totally get what you're saying.
Beth Ditto's leggings,
So
the makeup palette, the Eat
oh,
My Makeup leggings were one of the first
yes,
I really invested in, because they were so
yes.
colorful, and she was a fat person, and I trusted her to make something that fit me correctly.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I love them to this day. I love them.
Yeah, I
They're
wish you
getting
would come back.
all on me.
Yes. So, so anyway, let's move on to the term that honestly, it makes me just like twitch when I hear it. The term size inclusive,
Right.
because it gets excessively used by the media and brands. Those brands that expand, they're like straight size, they expand to plus size, and then they say, "Oh, I'm size inclusive," even though they stop at a 3X. So I would love to know what you think and how we can educate the industry on what being inclusive truly means.
Well, first of all, let me begin this by saying I worship at the altar of Sauce West. I'm a
Yes.
Saucy. I wish she was gay.
She's here. She's here.
I know she. I talked to her right before I came on here. I have a massive crush on her, both intellectually and romantically. And she has said so much on this subject, and I agree with everything that she said. And I think that size inclusive is a buzzword, that people use to
Yes.
try to seem more woke or more inclusive, and they don't actually give a shit about doing it. I don't even call Peridot Robes size inclusive. I call it size exclusive, because I'm never going to make below a size 14. So, I'll never be inclusive. I'm not inclusive of them. I don't give a shit about people smaller than a size 14,
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly not going to spend any of my time worrying about them. This is exclusively for fat people. So yeah, I call Peridot size exclusive. I just think it's a buzzword that's misused. It doesn't mean anything anymore. I wish it did. And I love the fight for inclusivity, because, I think I would like that word to mean something. I would like to
Yes.
see when I'm scrolling through Instagram and a line says, "We're plus size, we're size inclusive, this is for everybody." And I'm like, yay. And I click on it and I'm like, size 22. Really? You guys? Really?
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I still get psyched out like that several times a day, because I'm in a plus size them. So it's showing me all these new lines, oh, we made this and we did this. And I'm like, look at that floral, look at this dress. I love it. And I want to buy it. And I click, and there it goes. And once again, I'm like, I fell for it again. It's Charlie Brown with the football, It's
Yes,
just,
it's like falling for the okie doke. Exactly. Exactly. It's like you feel duped.
Yeah, you do feel duped. And I have to understand that as a size 28, 30, if there was a new line that was offering size 30, I would know about it. I'm not gonna find out through an Instagram algorithm. I'm gonna know about it because I'm in the industry now, and I would know, especially if it was a brand worth buying for me, because it would probably be started by someone who I already is in my circle. I want to say a friend of mine who I recently met in Chicago, Amy Lynn, she is just like the brightest, most colorful, sweetest person. I totally fell in love with her when I was in Chicago a couple weeks ago. And she has a line coming out of like super colorful, I think she's going up to a 7X, I want to say. And and her stuff is her own homemade prints. Like, she designed every aspect of it herself, and they are not that expensive. They're actually pretty affordable, and they're ethically made. And I'm just so excited. And there's more brands like this popping up every single day. I think it's called Joy Toast is her line. And I'm so excited about this. And I just see it more and more. It's just like people that you see in you know, the fat activist circles are suddenly saying, hey, I could have a line. And I want people to do that. Like someone said to me a couple of weeks ago, oh, you know, well, these people are going to have plus size robes. And I'm like, great. You know, people should have options. I'm never going to offer every single person's dream robe. So if someone else can do it and wants to make, you know, a lavender silk, you know, short robe with a hood that I'm never going to make, then cool, go do it. I'm so happy because one thing as a plus size person, we don't have the options. No. You know, if we have, we don't have like, everybody else can go into a store and, you know, have 50 dresses to choose from and get something that speaks to their style, colors that flatter them, a fit that they like. And we don't have that. We're lucky if we can squeeze our asses into one or two things in any given store. And it's time for that to change. I'm not intimidated by that. One of the most important things someone has said to me in this journey has been, it's about community, not competition. You know?
Amen.
You don't have to be looking at what other people are doing, and what that doesn't take away from what you're doing. You know, it's for the community. And I always put community first because I am the damn community. I was a fat person long before I was Peridot Robes, and I'm going to be a fat person long after Peridot Robes, if, you know, heaven forbid. But, you know, of course, I care about people having things that make them feel wonderful. I'm not ever going to be making what everybody wants, you know?
Right.
I'm making what I.
No, but I love you said community first. I love that. I wish more people felt that way. So
it's an easy.
So what's, huh? Go ahead.
It's an easier to live when you're constantly looking over your shoulder and taking this away from me. Who wants to be that way? I don't want to be that way. I'm like thrilled that people might be doing that stuff, you know?
More options, more options.
I wish there was 15 plus brands. Do it. Let's do it, you know? So everybody can have what they want. I love it.
Exactly. So what's next with Peridot Robes?
Oh my gosh, so many things. So I have
share.
Okay, here's the scoop. I do smoke a lot of weed, so I have a lot of ideas, and I get really excited about ideas like late at night, and I start talking to my friends about it, and they're like, yeah. And then the next morning I wake up and on Instagram I posted, you guys, Peridot's gonna make period panties. And I'm like, what did I do? Or, you know, like, I don't know. I don't remember posting that, but I do. So yeah, for immediately, we have the Deep Summer collection coming out that's going to include a brand new lounger cut called the Breezy. It's all about the side boob action. It's going to be sleeveless and long and elegant and flowy. Ooh. And oh my gosh, the fabrics for that are super, super light and buttery. It's going to be like, if you want to be naked, but you can't be naked, you absolutely have to wear something. This is going to be next to naked, basically. And we also have robe. I'm a former sex worker myself, so I love the word hoe. I, you know, proudly claim it as my own, and I've wanted a hoe robe since forever. A little something, you're getting slutty with someone and you want to throw in a little something to go fry an egg afterwards. This is like fat hot bitch at the stove robe. It is so sexy, and have fun prints coming, and, you know, loud colors, and just, you know, I love that. We also have, so that's going to be the Deep Summer collection. I'm hoping that's going to come out like end of June, probably. And then on a bigger level, I am doing a line of wholesale spa robes to sell to hotels and resorts and salons and spas and cruise ships, and anybody who wants to offer plus size bathrobes to their clients and show them that fat people have them. Because if you've ever been on a cruise, you know there's a lot of fat people on those damn boats. And why don't you have a robe? So that's going to be coming hopefully later this year if I can afford to. And then I also have the period panties that I'm in development with in partnership with Connolly McDougall, who's an ethical inclusive designer up in Canada. And her and I have become like instant best friends. Her clothing is all very accessible for people with disabilities. Her stuff is beautifully made, very much on the same level with, with my stuff. Just so much love and care is being thought into the fabrics for it and the cuts for it. And so her and I have buddied up, and we're making period panties together. So, for fat people who have periods, we don't have a lot of options. I have been testing out all the period panties.
It's slim pickings.
It's slim pickings. I will say, for anyone who's looking to buy period panties in the immediate, I really like the ones from Revol, Revol, R-E-V-O-L. Out of all the brands that I've tried most of them at this point, those have been the ones that I will co-sign the most. They're still made of fabrics that aren't good for people who are sensitive to synthetics. And I feel like the fit might be almost like a little too big. So maybe, size down for a more snug fit, because I like to have a more snug fit in my panties. But yeah, if you're looking for something immediate, those are the ones that I found have been the best. And
okay, that's great. I actually did fit. I actually did fit for period panties like 2 years ago. I don't know who the client was, because they didn't tell me who the client was.
I've heard about this
yeah.
period panty client. I've heard from other people. There's someone floating around, but they never came out.
Yeah, they never came out. I don't know if it was COVID or what happened, but yeah, I did fit for the 5X. They were going to go up to 7.
Okay.
I would have loved to see that. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it was right before New York locked down for COVID. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I've heard of 2019.
Other people that did fitting for the same line, and I don't know who it was, but they said they did fitting for them. I just have never seen them come out to market. COVID has made manufacturing kind of difficult. We are a very small, slow line, slow fashion. And so, the 2 guys that are doing our sewing are brothers who live together. So they're COVID safe because they are their own bubble. But it also means that my velvet robes are a week late coming out because we only sewing, and we don't make them work 20-hour days. They get to go home at 5 p.m. like everybody else in the world, or, not everyone in the world, of course, in Los Angeles. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun. It's so, I feel very, I feel like I have to be very strong in what my initial vision was for Peridot when it comes to manufacturing. I don't want to level up to huge numbers. I know we're sold out all the time, and I wish I had more inventory. I know a lot of people are looking for their size and they can't find it in the hot new style that we just released, but I don't really want to be doing 2,000 pieces. I don't want it. I mail out myself. I carry everything to my car. I'm disabled. I'm tired. Peridot is as big as I can handle. I'm not one of these people with endless energy. My body hurts. I take mental health days a lot, and I love it. It makes me super happy, but I'm not going to be pressured by anyone to open a storefront or, get made in China so we can have, 3,000 pieces. I'm me. If you want to support me, but I'm not going to be you, and I'm not going to be what someone else wants me to be. It is what it is,
But this is why we'll have those other companies come out with robes.
Yeah.
Right.
There are other plus size robes in the world. They do exist.
Yes, exactly. And I'm so excited that you're venturing into period panties. We're gonna have you back for another episode so you can talk about that. So
I have the hard finding bras.
Yeah, that'll be another conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't know what energy for it, but someday.
So with that said, I wanted to welcome questions from the audience. And
Perfect.
So let's open the chat so that
I'm not very
Um,
good at,
and
oh, chat.
embarrassing. Someone's banging on my door, but I'm not going to answer it. Someone's really banging on my door after I've told everyone that I am not in. So does anyone have any questions?
I am looking at the chat right now. Oh, I see Amy posted the Shop Joy toast. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see.
Yes,
I
Amy,
got
I want to meet you, possibly have you on the show. I think it sounds wonderful. I would love to know more. So please contact me. I'm sure Marina will set it up. And because we want the world to know, I'm rooting for anyone who wants to design above a 3X, and offer up
her
to
line
7,
called
8.
Exactly. Her line is called Joy Toast. She is one of the most joyful people. And I met her when she showed up and helped me behind the scenes at the photo shoot we did in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. I shot with Karina Shiro, Unskinny Shiro on Instagram, and she did an incredible kind of Baroque inspired shoot for us and for the Velvet line. And Amy showed up and she was like, oh, I'm just going to do a couple behind the scenes footage so you can have some stuff for TikTok, which I never got around to because it sold out super fast. And I got to meet her and hear about her line, and now her and I are buddies, and I got to see like a preview of the prints that she's doing, and I'm just so excited about it. It's going to be gorgeous.
I'm all about color. I'm someone, I love bold colors and prints. So I'm excited.
You're going to love the robe.
Well, then she's got a customer. I don't even know what it looks like, but she's got a customer. So, someone said, Pauline said, just a huge thank you for giving clothing, comfort, and joy to the fat community. I was expecting the size out of your robes, but mine fits perfectly.
Oh, Pauline, I remember talking
and changing lives.
You know what? I didn't mean to, but I guess I am. And I'm so happy to be doing it. I take it really seriously. It's an honor to be doing. I feel so lucky and so fulfilled in what I'm doing. And that was really unexpected to me. I really thought this would be like a part-time hobby, like I made the robes. I'll ship them out whenever someone buys one. And then in September, we'll do another one. And instead I did like 4 releases between May and September. And,
amazing.
My full-time job now because fat people buy stuff.
Right. They say we don't shop. Come on. They say we don't shop. And even Saucy said, I love you so much. So grateful for you. The community is so happy because of you. You bring in joy. See, this is what I tell people. Fashion is so personal, especially to fat people, because we don't have that access to it. So when someone cares enough to make things that fit us and bring us joy, like it's everything. It's everything.
I didn't understand it. Like I didn't think of that aspect of it when I got started in this, and now it's my whole life. I have a deep responsibility to people who are investing in my brand, because every purchase is an investment in my dream. I said to someone a couple of weeks ago, I was like, if people didn't buy the robes, I would be the insane person living in an apartment with 3,000 bathrobes. You guys make it what it is. I'm so thankful for it. It is incredibly rewarding. I think everybody who has a dream like this should go for it. It is a money maker. People are like afraid to talk about the fact that there's real money in this. There's real goddamn money in this. The first weekend I launched, I made $80,000 in a day and a half. People who say that they want to, oh, there's no money in it. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. There money in it. You just have to do it the right way, and respect your customers. Just like what other business can you disrespect customers to the degree that extended plus sizes are treated, and then blame them for it, and they'll blame themselves. They'll blame themselves too. And it's outrageous. I think
it's not our fault.
And people love to talk about how angry and she really came about it, she's on people's asses and all this. It is an angry thing, And first of all, she's not. You know, I am.
Right?
People think I'm so silly. I'm pissed all the time. I got a sailor's mouth, you know. I'm you know, no one ever comes up against me, but you know, to me, I'm like, it is infuriating. Why shouldn't we be angry? I mean, what does it matter if me as a size, you know, 5X is boycotting a brand who only goes to 3X anyways? You know,
exactly.
For that, I'm not mean for that. And asking smaller sizes to stand in solidarity with us, you know, that is something I am coming to terms with right now, because I have been accepting the short end of the stick of a lot of people who say that they love me, that don't do anything to advocate for somebody of my size or my abilities. Is one of the reasons I'm actually moving to Chicago instead of Los Angeles, is because a lot of people here in Los Angeles are clout chasers, social climbers. They don't do anything for you unless it's going to do something for them. And I found the community in Chicago to be very authentic, truly about activism.
Yes, I love Chicago. Yes.
And Amy was a big part of that, just making me feel so welcome. And really, she was there to help. And she was a tremendous help. She edited the most beautiful video for Peridot. I think that video is what sold out the Velvet line, you know, because I don't do a lot of work into marketing. I barely send out emails these days. Like, I just don't. It's not important to me. If you want to buy me, I'm here. If not, meh, you know. Like, you know.
Well, I want to read some more of the comments before we end, because, you know, you say you're not into marketing, but people are singing your praises here. You know, Amy Lynn, your friend, said, gonna join the chorus. My robe has improved my quality of life, and my lounger has made really hard work days shooting weddings so much more comfortable. Christina Chase says, I'm also a person living with chronic illness, and I love my Peridot robe. It's perfect for when I just can't with getting dressed, but also need to be clothed and want to feel comfy. Thanks so much. You know, Saucy West said your video was fire. You know, everyone is just overjoyed. And I want to say, I hate that this chat has to come to an end, but it does. And I want to say thank you. I consider you a dear friend. I think you're amazing. And the things that you're doing for the community, they mean so much. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that you have started a revolution, and you're bringing fat people, joy, comfort. Like I'm getting teary-eyed just talking about it, because, you know, it's hard, and I really appreciate you and all you do in this world, and I will always support you. And, you know, you're welcome to come back anytime and chat some more.
I'm getting a little teary-eyed, because I want you to know, like, when I say it's an honor, it is such an honor. I'm learning so much about myself. I'm learning so much that I'm not alone in the amount of pain I'm in every day. I have such an incredible, beautiful community. And I don't do any advertising with Peridot, because Instagram and Facebook are racist. They are sizist. They are ableist. They silence our activists. I am someone, I have, like we said earlier, I have 5 Facebook accounts, because I'm constantly being put on 30-day bans for calling out, you know, injustices in the world. And okay, I do threaten to kill people sometimes, but that's just the way I talk. I'm Jewish, you know, this is how we do it. But I want to say that, like, you know, it has changed my life. It has absolutely changed my life, and transformed who I am, and given my life so much purpose that I don't think I really had in the same way before. I've always been an activist, but this is just like, I can't wait to go to work every day. You know, I can't wait to chat with people. I consider so many of our clients to be my best friends. And, you know, I care very much about our community in deeper ways than I ever felt before. And I'm thankful. I'm so thankful for it.
And
I'm thankful to you.
Oh,
these
well,
chats are fun.
Listen, you started the revolution. Let's keep it going. So
yes,
with
that's
that
right.
said, thank you. And this marks the end of this episode. Thanks to everyone who came. Thanks to Pro Bono ASL. We appreciate you. Thanks for the hard work. And that's it.